Good morning, YouTube. It's time for another Breakfast with Kevin. Today we're going to talk about how you can speed up your eBay listings. That's right, speed up your eBay listings. How do you make the process go faster? Right after this. Morning, YouTube. Welcome to another edition of Breakfast with Kevin. I'm here with my cereal, my fruit-flavored water, and, oh no, that was the Bonafide Hustler phone. Well, it tastes good. Today, I'm going to talk to you about listing on eBay. We all know it can be a daunting task. You know, you got to take the pictures, you got to do the research, you got to figure out what format you're going to sell at. Is it going to be an auction? Is it going to be a fixed listing? How long are you going to put it up for? You got to look at coming up with keyword-rich titles, descriptions, filling out all the details on the form that eBay wants. You know, if you're selling clothing, you got to have, the sizes, you got to have the colors, that whole little task behind it. You've got to upload your images to eBay, and then figure out all your shipping info. It can be a task that just occupies a lot of time in nature because of what's involved. And if you've got a lot of listings to do, you could be putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. You've got to work in smaller chunks. What we like to do is say, all right, I'm going to list 10 items. So you go grab the 10 items and say, boom, I'm going to do all my pictures right now. Take all 10 photos. Move on to the next workstation and say, okay, now I'm going to research all 10 items. Boom, done with that. Next thing, I'm going to list the 10 items. So now I've done my research, I've got my pictures, I can sit down and make 10 listings. Works for us a lot faster than taking a picture, doing the research, listing an item, boom, go to the next item. It just, you're in that mindset, you're in that flow, so you're going to continue to work on it in a small batch versus, say, trying to list 100 items. We know that's not going to happen. People set these goals that are unrealistic. I'm going to list 100 items in an hour. Then 20 minutes later, they're off doing something else. They got distracted by their cell phone. They've got some other distraction going on. Somebody walks in and talks to them. They, on the internet, find something else to go read, go do, get on social media. But it all comes down to setting out blocks of time. So you want to say that, for the next half hour, this is all I'm doing. The next hour, this is all I'm doing. So those type of tasks help you list faster. So, make sure you have a working area to, speaking of cell phones, I did not mute mine before this. Alright, it's muted now. Make sure you have a dedicated working area to work on this stuff, and it's free of distractions. You're not tripping over all of your merchandise or your product. You're not digging through bags and bins and everything else that are all just in your way. You got to move stuff 20 million times to get any work done, because that's just an obstacle. You'll avoid going in there and doing the work. For us, that was February. We had a small room in our house where we had dedicated to this stuff, but we had so much inventory, you couldn't make heads or tails in that room. It just was overwhelming. You'd walk in there and you'd be like, oh, I don't want to deal with this today. So we ended up leasing some commercial office space that we moved all of our inventory over there. Now, some days it's a pain in the total butt because, you sell items and we got to run all the way over to the office to go package them, ship them out. But when we go there, we know that's what we're doing. That's what we're dedicated to, the work. The only difference was bringing those pallets to our house and putting them in our garage. The reason we did that was space. In that commercial office space, it's all man doors. We wouldn't have been able to get a pallet in the door anywhere in there. They don't have a loading dock. that was not, that was a shame on our part when we were looking at office space. We weren't forward thinking in where do we want to take this business. You know, you asked me 6 months ago would I be sitting with a couple pallets in my garage of stuff to sort through. Oh, I said, no way. That's not us. We're not at that level. We're not ready for that. And here we are. You know, the nice thing about having it here in the house is I can grab a bin of those items, and while I'm sitting in here in the evening with the family relaxing, I can go through that bin, take my pictures, do my research, and list the items. I just did that last night. I probably got through about 25 items that we put up on eBay. So a couple went to Amazon, but it makes it easier, you know, when you can get in that flow and you can work it around other routines. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What tips, tricks do you have for listing faster, listing in batches? What works for you? You know, please share this video if you find it helpful with your friends, families, fools. Post it to any social media groups that you feel could gain value from this. Encourage people to subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe today. We put out content on a regular basis all around our journey to freedom, which is, you know, our journey through reselling to live the life we want to live. Do things when we want to do them, you know, and not have to answer to a boss. Doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to be lazy and not work. We just work at a schedule that's convenient for us. So while I'm thinking about it, you know, we're almost about to break 200 subscribers on here. And I'd love to put a challenge out there. If we can break 500 by the 4th of July, I'm going to give away a special package of items. You know, we're going to put together a box, almost like a reseller box from Upper Valley. You know, we're just going to throw it together. We're going to throw a bunch of juicy items in there and ship it to one of our subscribers for free of charge if you guys help us break 500 subscribers by the 4th of July. So I'll do a full video on that and, you know, provide more details and try to show some of the items that we'll be throwing in that box and giving away. But other than that, all right, hustlers, get out there and do.